example?
There's a lot of people that go around saying that GMOs are safe. The FDA policy says there's no difference between GMOs and non-GMOs that we have to worry about, so no safety testing is necessary. That policy was overseen by Michael Taylor, Monsanto's former attorney. Monsanto's the big GMO company. It claimed that there was no knowledge of difference of GMOs, but the overwhelming consensus among the scientists working at the FDA was exactly the opposite. Documents made public from a lawsuit showed that they had warned repeatedly that GMOs can create allergies, toxins, new diseases, and nutritional problems. They urged their superiors to require tests, but were ignored. Now, years later, the scientists have been vindicated, and we've seen in animal feeding studies, according to the American Academy of Environmental Medicine, so much damage in the animals fed GMOs, gastrointestinal disorders, immune system problems, reproductive dysfunction, problems with cholesterol and insulin, faster aging, organ damage. They say all doctors in America should prescribe non-GMO diets to every patient. Now thousands are doing just that, and they're reporting that patients are getting better from a variety of diseases and disorders, the same categories of diseases and disorders that the animals in the labs are afflicted with when they eat GMOs. And these are the same diseases and disorders that are on the rise in the US population since GMOs were introduced. The same diseases and disorders that veterinarians and farmers say are being improved in their livestock when the livestock eliminate GMOs. And if you look at the genetically modified organisms, where genes are transferred from one species into another to create their own pesticide or to withstand doses of herbicide, the two main toxins that are found in GMOs, they predispose individuals to these same diseases and disorders. I have people coming up to me after watching the movie Genetic Roulette saying, I saw your movie, I took my children off of GMOs, and they got better. Eliminated allergies, stopped being violent. One woman in MIT said they wanted to kick her son out of school because he was violent and impulsive, but not after a couple of weeks of eating non-GMO food.
Fantastic.
I say we have now a lot of evidence in peer-reviewed published studies. We have so many case studies of people getting better. We have so many case studies of livestock and animals getting better. I think right now it's people talking to people. We're actually gathering testimonies of people who've gotten better from removing GMOs from their diet. When I go in front of an audience, I ask the audience to tell me who's gotten GMOs out of their diet and how many of you feel better. And then I say, okay, tell me the symptoms that got better. Every single audience I speak to, there's a group that says gastrointestinal disorders, often immediately. In all but one, allergies disappeared or got better. Brain fog, weight problems, anxiety, depression, insomnia, liver or kidney problems. It goes on. Asthma, gut pain, diabetes. I've heard this over and over again. And so I'm seeing more of these testimonies than anyone else in the world because I'm actively collecting them. So I feel the pressure to get it out because when people hear it, they try for themselves, they get rid of GMOs, they go to nongmoshoppingguide.com, and they feel better.
What is your view of the obstacles, and who or what do you see as the greatest of them?
Obstacles to what?
Of getting the word out and to battling the GMO problems that we have in our society.
The biotech industry, which earlier told us that their PCBs, Agent Orange, and DDT were safe, specifically Monsanto, has a tremendous power over the US government and many other governments. And they have exerted power through economic and other influences over academia, mainstream media, farm organizations, land-grant universities, research agendas, and public opinion. They have spent, years ago, $250 million trying to convince Americans that GMOs will feed the world when the world's experts don't agree. So there is a very professionally funded and conducted disinformation campaign. In California, when they wanted to pass Prop 37 to simply label GMOs, they spent $1 million a day giving complete lies that somehow labeling GMOs would drive up prices, and it won't, and that it was a poorly written ballot initiative, and it wasn't, and it was going to hurt farmers and small businesses, and it didn't, and it wouldn't have. And they actually stopped the ballot initiative 51 to 49. And this is based on the fact that they are experts at making myths, but not experts at making healthy food. We have in nature the products of a billion years of evolution. We have sexual reproduction, selective breeding, and natural selection happening all over. What we have with GMOs is the introduction of genes from one species, virus, bacteria, man, animal, forced into the DNA of other species like soybeans and corn. This never occurs like it does with genetic engineering in nature. We are altering the gene pool. Now, if we could isolate that and say, okay, we have an altered gene pool here, it's just an experiment, and now we're going to incinerate it, that's one thing. But when you release these organisms into the environment, the genes spread and become part of the gene pool forever. Because pollen doesn't read the signs. You have GM, genetically modified corn, contaminating non-GM corn. Genetically modified rice escaping from a field trial and contaminating U.S. rice supplies. So the biotech industry makes money from their GMOs, has greater control over the food system, and so their stated goal is to genetically engineer 100% of all commercial seeds in the world to essentially replace nature. This is permanent. The genes already released can outlast the effects of global warming and nuclear waste. So we should have extinguished all doubt before exposing the products of this infant science to everyone who eats and to the environment where it can never be recalled. Instead, because patents run out and because return on investment is required within a certain time, this technology was introduced long before the science was ready, and we're all paying the price.